As you grow older, you have many advancements taking place in your life, such as building your career, relationships, maybe starting a family, or chasing big personal dreams. In this phase, it's natural to feel excited about your goals and you have a desire to share them with friends, coworkers, or even social media followers. After all, who doesn't want support or encouragement? But here's the thing, sharing your dreams and goals widely, especially early on, can sometimes backfire. I'd actually go as far as saying that it's probably going to backfire most of the time. It can actually slow you down, drain your motivation, or make your journey harder. This isn't just some motivational fluff. There's real science and psychology behind why keeping your goals more private might be the smarter move for you right now. You gotta avoid the fake progress trap. You know that buzz you get when you tell someone about your plans? That initial high? It feels like progress, but research shows this buzz can trick your brain into thinking you've already achieved something, reducing the motivation to actually put in the hard work. When you say, I'm going to start my own business or I'm going to post videos on YouTube every day, and people praise you, your brain rewards you early. That makes it easier to procrastinate or lose focus because your mind feels like it's already done something important. In your mind, you're already living out that process of, okay, this is my dream, this is what I want to do. You share it with people, and you haven't even went through the process of cultivating that game plan for yourself, taking those actions. You've already released the beans. You've already spoken things out into the universe, but you've done it the wrong way. You've shared it with everybody around you. You got to keep that stuff to yourself. Real progress comes from action, not announcements. And if you make this a habit with everything you're working towards in life, you're going to be left with a whole lot of bark, no bite. You're going to be known as that person that's always saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And there's going to be no push that comes to shove, and you're not going to be able to move forward with what you actually want to do because you're letting the cat out of the bag at every given opportunity. When your goals are public, you suddenly have an audience expecting you to follow through. It could be your peers or people online that you share your game plan with. That can feel like extra pressure, and not the good kind. Fear of failure grows because now it's not just your personal disappointment on the line. It feels like everyone's watching. This fear can freeze you in your tracks, make you risk averse, or cause you to give up to avoid embarrassment because you're having a hard time delivering on what you said you're going to do. Remember, failure is part of growth, but failing publicly can sting more than failing quietly. I'm the eldest of my siblings, and growing up, I often felt a higher level of pressure when it came to delivering on expectations. I was always the person that, okay, I have to make the right moves and I have to set that example for others. Sure, sometimes life naturally moves you in that direction, but if you're asking for it, everybody's going to have their eyes on you and you're going to lose credibility along the way because you're all of a sudden saying, I got this going on, I'm going to have this going on, and I'm going to make this happen, and there's just no credibility on your end. And you're doing it to yourself. It can vary from person to person, but I'm assuming that at this stage in life, you're probably starting to realize not everyone has your back or sees your vision the way you do. Some friends or family might be supportive, but others might question your goals. They'll discourage you or unintentionally plant doubts in your head. A lot of your friends aren't really happy deep down when you're ahead of them. I love my younger brother, but even he told me the other day, Big bro, stop telling me how many views you're getting or what type of videos you're working on. He told me that even though he's my brother, he very well may feel some type of way if I'm doing better than him in life. And this isn't necessarily his fault, this is just how we're inclined to think as human beings. Sometimes, when others are shining really bright around us, it's a tough pill to swallow. And in my opinion, our parents are perhaps the only exception to this. It's just how we're wired as humans. For anyone that knows a thing or two about Abrahamic religions, think about the story of Joseph, and you'll kind of get the idea that I'm trying to make here. We got to take a step to protect our ideas from being taken or diluted or lost along the way. When you share your goals and ideas, just know that something, somewhere along the line, is going to get stolen. I've had it happen to myself plenty of times before, and you want to build your concept fully before putting it out there. This is especially important in today's digital world where ideas can spread quickly and intellectual property lines are a lot more blurry. Stuff just won't stick. If you start laying out everything and if you start releasing your plans ahead of time, someone's going to catch drift of it. So, keeping your plans under wraps until you're ready to launch helps protect your originality. Another issue that comes with revealing too much about yourself, and this doesn't even necessarily have to go into, your goals, whether it's business related or education and stuff like that. It's the whole concept of privacy. Not everyone needs to know your business. I've had to learn this lesson the hard way as time has went on. If you start sharing anything and everything with people, you're just asking for it. You're an open book at that point. Have you ever noticed how in movies it's always the best friend that steals your girl? I'm not saying your friend is going to do this, but revealing too much personal information will definitely give the wrong type of person that head start. Because you've let everyone in on the details. You don't have to serve the tea. I know there's people out there that love the whole aspect of the gossip and, what's the tea? When you keep stuff under the wraps and when you plan stuff privately, it gives you the freedom to pivot. Your goals are going to evolve as you grow, learn, and experience new things. If you announce your plans too publicly, you might feel stuck defending an outdated vision instead of adapting to new realities. Keeping your goals private gives you space to shift and experiment without external pressure or judgment. And obviously, first and foremost, you shouldn't really be so caught up on how others perceive what you want to do in life. But say, for example, I'm going to open a restaurant and I'm going to do it by the end of this year. And say along the way you learn more about restaurants and you decide that, okay, maybe shifting into landscaping is a better fit for you. It's going to be kind of late at that point because there's this expectation that everybody has and you've laid that out there now. So why even mention stuff in the first place? The point I'm trying to get at is you don't have to always be totally secretive. Sharing your goals with a trusted circle, maybe you have mentors, close friends, or maybe you have someone that's coaching you with certain life goals. People like that can give you valuable encouragement and honest feedback, but the key is to choose carefully who you share with. Those who genuinely want to see you succeed and who can hold you accountable without judgment are worth opening up to. The rest, it's okay to keep them in the dark. At this point in life, your motivation should come from inside, not from likes, comments, or approval from others. When you keep your goals private, you learn to rely on your own commitment and passion, which is far more sustainable. External validation always has an expiration date. Internal motivation, that's what drives long-term success. Sharing what I've been wanting to do has been tough on me growing up. I've always felt like I get excited when I have plans and things that I want to do, and I'll always share it with people that are close to me. And as time has gone along, I've learned to dial this down because I rather hustle in silence, and you want to make certain actions which allow success to kind of speak for itself. Make those moves, plan stuff out, experiment, but do it all while no one's eye is on you. That's going to give you the most fulfilling experience. As time has went along, like I've said, I've gotten better with this and I'm continuing to keep that same mindset going forward with whatever I plan out in life. It's sad to say that there's probably been plenty of times where I can think back and say, my ideas weren't really met with that same zeal. They weren't encouraged how I had hoped they had been. And that's on me. That's on me for letting the cat out the bag and wanting to share what I feel with others. Guys, just keep it to yourself. You don't have to share every little detail with everybody. Make those steps. Sharing your dreams and goals is tempting, especially when you're excited and hopeful about the future, but you have to consider the downsides of sharing too widely. Premature sharing can create false motivation, increase pressure, invite negativity, and you risk your ideas getting stolen. It distracts you from the work that matters. Instead, protect your dreams by nurturing them quietly, sharing only with those who truly support you, and focusing on action over announcements. Remember, your journey is yours. The less noise around your goals, the clearer your path becomes. Let your work and results do the talking.